Hi ladies. Today I'm going to do an update for TTC. I had an appointment this morning and it was for an hysteroscopy, which I think they also call a hysterogram or a histogram, something like that. So basically what it is they put a scope in, they clean the inside with iodine, and they just kind of look around to make sure everything's okay. They push in some saline to try to open up your uterus so they can see better. And that's just to basically make sure everything is okay. Now, I originally had thought that this was required because I just had a failed IVF cycle, but actually it was my insurance company that required it. I guess when they went to submit the orders for another cycle, the insurance company came back and said that I had to have this done. It's not a bad thing to do, because since I did have a failed cycle, before moving forward, not a bad idea to make sure I don't have any cysts or polyps growing in there from the medications because, sometimes the hormones can do that. So, and we had a pretty good outcome today. It was pretty clear. She only saw one thing that was just slightly concerning to her. She thought that it probably wasn't anything to be concerned with, but she wants my own doctor. My doctor's actually out this week on vacation, so I had one of the other doctors in the practice doing my exam today. So she wants to have my own doctor just review the results just to make sure. And what we saw was just like a little red speck. And she said that if it was a polyp, that there would be a tail, and there was nothing. It was flat. And she asked when I was in my cycle, and today is cycle day 11, and she said, well, that could be the reason, because as you get closer to ovulation, you start to have you thicken up your lining. So she said it could just be from that, and just could have just been a little bit of puffiness there. So while she was in there, she also did a measurement just to make sure that that hadn't changed. And so leading up to this, I was told I should take ibuprofen or something that I would experience cramping after and during. But before going into it, I had just thought back because I had an HSG last year, which is that hysterosalpingogram, and that can be pretty painful. That is actually what started me watching YouTube videos because I get nervous. I was reading just about people's posts on blogs and reviews and things like that, and I stumbled across someone's video. I think it may have been Carla the Bubble Lushes, and I think that was the very first video that I kind of watched related to TTC. And I don't think she had that big of a problem with hers. I think hers went pretty well, and she didn't experience too much pain. And I didn't either. Like, I really got nervous about it, had my husband come with me and hold my hand, and it really wasn't much worse than just my regular menstrual cramps. So, and I do get menstrual cramps. I get day 1 and day 2 cramps, and they're pretty bad. So I'm used to it. So I kind of just pretended that's what I was going through. So when she told me that this was going to be similar to that, but not as bad, I was like, oh, I don't need to take anything. It's not a big deal. Well, I was wrong. It was very, very uncomfortable. And she told me the reason why it is uncomfortable is because when they fill you with saline, your uterus contracts down on it, and that's the cramping that you're feeling. It's like the pushing against your cervix from the saline. So that was very uncomfortable. It was really, really, really intense cramping. And the plus was the procedure was very, very quick. I mean, under 5 minutes. And then the pain, even though it was pretty intense, I drove myself, and I was driving home thinking, oh my gosh, I should have had somebody drive me. This is so uncomfortable. I was really distracted. But I would say within 20 or so minutes, it had subsided, and I was fine. I was just so nervous it was going to last all day, and I had to go back to work, but thankfully I could just work from home today. So I just had to come home and get to work, which it wasn't, it was fine. But I was a little shocked at how painful it was. I thought I would be fine, and next time if I have to have one of those done, I guess I'll just listen to and take the ibuprofen. I really, really, really just hate taking medication unless I have to. I get migraines, and I'd rather just sleep them off. I do take Excedrin, or sometimes I have like a powdered, I can't remember the name of it, Goodies? I think it's called Goodies. and that actually works really well for my migraines. But I only take it like if I'm so like so bad, like can't see and can't like open my eyes and have like nauseous feelings. That's the only time I'll do that. But otherwise, I try to stick it out. I just don't want to stick medications to get my body used to it when I don't. I can usually deal with it. But anyway, I digress. So where we are now is I am on cycle day 11, and on cycle day 22, which is August 19th, I am supposed to start our next injections. And this time they're going to have me do Gonal F, not Gonal F, Lupron in the morning, and then Menopur at night. It'll give me, I don't know exactly what it's going to do. I guess it's just going to give me a little bit more of a luteinizing cycle. So that's what I have to do for the next time. And with that, instead of having the one vial or the pen, they come in, I think there's 6 vials in a package, and it's one row of just 6 powders individually, and then another row of the liquids. And she did explain how I do it, but I'm going to have to review that when I actually receive the medication. So yeah, so you have to kind of do the same thing that you did with the HSG, where you have that big needle and you mix it first, and then you take it out with but this time you take that with a small syringe, because you do put this into your stomach, not into your and not into the muscle. You do it just in the fatty tissue. So that's good. I was really nervous that I had to do those big ones, and I wouldn't be able to do that on my own. But nope, in the stomach too. So that is the hope. I mean, my doctor comes back on the 13th. So she has to review, and if she doesn't seem to think there's anything wrong like the other doctor, then we will go ahead and go through with this cycle. And I really, 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 really hope so, because my husband's traveling schedule is just rough, and I don't think, if we don't do it this time, I don't think he'll be home. So we'll have to freeze. I mean, that's the only other way to do it, or I'd have to have him stay home longer, but either way, he would probably lose about the same amount of income if he didn't go and gig than if we actually had him freeze. I was shocked when I looked that up. It would be, because it's not medically necessary for us to have his sperm banked, then we would have to pay for it out of pocket. And it was like $750 for the first deposit, and each additional deposit was like another $555. And that only stands for a year, and then after that you have to start over again with $700. But hopefully, God, I hope we don't have to go longer than a year. Oh my God, I'd be so depressed. I think at that point it would just be time to move on to something else. I don't know. But yeah, so it's pretty expensive. But like I said, if my husband stays home, he'll lose so much money from playing in Key West. So I don't know. We'll have to figure that out when we come to it. Let's hope we don't have to. I'm really, 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 really praying that we can just get through this cycle with no problem. And we are also traveling at the end of the month, and so it's going to be tight. We're supposed to leave on September 20th. So that's cutting it pretty close. And if I absolutely have to, then I will not go. And we'll have to figure it out. But again, thinking positively, I don't want to even have to think about changing my vacation plans or even thinking about doing another cycle. This is the cycle. This is a cycle that is going to get me a baby. Maybe 2, but we're just hoping for 1. So, yep, there we are. So, anyway, I hope everybody is doing good. I have been doing Veda, and if you haven't been doing it, it's been fun. I have been having a blast getting to know people and finding out little quirky things about people that you don't necessarily learn about through doing the TTC videos. Today's topic is actually manicure, and well, I don't have one. I don't really have very much for nails. So I'm going to put that one up later. But I just want to get this one out to you ladies so you guys knew where I was. So I hope everybody is doing well. Happy August, happy Thursday, and I will see you guys later.